Welcome back to the K-Files. Today we are investigating The Walk. Welcome back to the lush basement office. I'm Katie.
And I'm Kryzzalia, and we're coming at you from HollywoodRedux.com.
Yes, on the K-Files today we're talking about The Walk, third season ep, Monster of the Week. It's a one-off serial killer, kind of a weird serial killer. It's like an astral serial killer, I guess you would want to say.
That's actually pretty close.
Yeah.
That's the closest we'll get, at least.
The basic gist of things is that at this military hospital, some weird stuff is going on. Namely, we see right at the top that this guy is trying to kill himself, and he's talking about some unseen guy who's stopping him. He won't let him die, and then he throws himself into scalding water. Ouchies. And we're off. And then we meet multiple amputee Rappo, Leonard Trimble, the main character, the main monster guy. And we find out he's really mad about the Gulf War. He lost all of his limbs in the Gulf War, and he's pretty bitter about it. And we come to understand that he's mad specifically at this general and this lieutenant colonel, and then this other guy played by Willie Garson, who's also in his unit with him. All the people who were part of that Gulf War experience, he's taken them out using his astral projected self because he has no limbs. Welcome to the X-Files. So this episode, we're dealing with a military monster. There are a few episodes like this on the show. The show does delve into military stuff frequently. Another episode that springs to mind that's very similar to this is Sleepless in the second season, where it's a same sort of thing, where one guy after the war has to like rectify on behalf of what was done by his unit during the war. So we've seen it before, or we'll see it. I guess we haven't really seen it too much before, but we'll definitely see it. No, wait, the second season is before the third season, so we have seen it before. We've seen it before, we'll see it again. But specifically, the Gulf War is something that the X-Files talks about a lot. It talks about Gulf War syndrome, biological warfare that was used pretty much for the first time in a military theater, and meditates on these things a lot on the show. Chris Carter definitely was thinking about this stuff. Specifically in this episode, Rappo, he voices that, expresses that bitterness, which is that I got my whole life taken away. I bled for this cause. Meanwhile, where's the meaning? He's wondering what the meaning is. And he's so mad that he's taking away people's lives. Like, he's taking it back. Like, he lost his whole life. He's taking back basically what was taken from him. Yeah. By taking back, like, from these other guys, their families.
Yeah.
That's
pretty low, though, on...
No, it's not good. Definitely,
it's not.
Definitely not the right answer.
He definitely hit where it hurts the most to those other...
Well, it's interesting because we see him when we first meet him, and he's in a support group for other amputees. Yeah. And one person is sharing, and they're sharing this positive message of, I'm still me, no matter what, finding new meaning with this new situation. And he eschews it all, Rappo does. He doesn't want to hear it. He wants to live inside his bitterness because he has developed, I imagine because he's developed this ability which enables him to, like, take action in this way. But it is interesting. It's like, here's another route where you could heal yourself and maybe have a life versus, like, living in pain, killing other people, perpetuating this cycle of, like, despair. But at the same time, he comes in his astral form via nature. He appears via water in the pool, which, we have to talk about that pool sequence. Whew. Water in the pool, sand, smoke. He appears via natural elements, so it's almost as if he becomes this, like, rectifying force of nature in some way. So I do think there is some sense from the writing that there is something that needs to be rectified. There is something that needs atoning. That the behavior on behalf of, like, the general, for example, there's something that needs atoning. Man. Okay, so let's see. It's a scary episode. There's a lot of shit you can't unsee in this episode. Probably, I think, the grossest shit you can't unsee. Whap!
Is there any way I can get off my fingers quickly without betraying my cool exterior?
is that sequence where the guy jumps into the scalding water and they pull him out and his skin is just
It's already peeling off, Katie!
scalded. We've talked about this before, this trope on the show, the burned man. We see the burned man appearing. We have now the scalded man.
Yeah, and I mean, like...
The
that's
boiled man.
That's literally his last resort to die. Like, he just didn't even think twice. Boom, jumped in
it's a
and...
fate worse than death. Yeah. What happens to these men through this experience is a fate worse than death. We find on the X-Files a lot that what happens through these monsters when these things play out via Monster of the Week episodes, and we're like meditating on this stuff, it's like violence, completing a cycle of violence. That something happened that put this out into our world, in the temporal world, and then something comes back around to rectify. Often it's like a natural thing, but sometimes on the X-Files it appears as a human with powers, a human with mutant abilities like Tombs or whatever, you know. Yeah.
These people are terrifying. That's what that is.
Yeah, no, it definitely is terrifying. This episode was written by John Shiban and directed by Rob Bowman, and I love this duo on the show. When these guys get together, especially on something like a Monster of the Week, where you don't have to worry about mythology, you don't have to worry about, taking on the weight of all of that vast, network of information that the X-Files has spun over the course of 10 years. Mm-hmm. I mean, longer now. 10 seasons. But, when these guys team up, they get to do these really cool things together. Like in this episode, the very opening, before the lieutenant colonel scalds himself when he's in bed talking to the psychiatrist, and he looks in the mirror. The way that is written / executed in the filming of it is very cool, where you understand like he's the monster. And then the other thing is in the pool sequence. I love this sequence. The shadows, where you can see her shadow on the ceiling, and then you see the shadow in the water. That's a really cool reveal, worthy of Hitchcock. And then at the end of that scene, after that woman has been killed, we don't even see the body. We don't see blood. We just see an out of focus. We see, looking up through the pool. It's like Breaking Bad. It's like a Breaking Bad shot before Breaking Bad existed. And you see like out of focus. You see Scully standing on the edge of the pool, and you're looking up through the water, and then the body floats over you, and you're like, ugh. It's the most chilling way you could reveal that, I think. Like, it's worse, I think, than showing you, like, straight up there she's floating in the pool. It's worse. You feel like you're a part of it. You feel like it's happening near you in a way where, with a lesser director, with a lesser, creative team, maybe it wouldn't feel so unnerving. But this episode really does have a very specific feel to it, where you feel, like, pretty, like, upset about stuff. Let's see, there's so much to talk about. I love these episodes. They're very rich. Well, I think that wraps it up for The Walk. We're going to close the case file for now, but there's always more to talk about, so if we missed anything, please let us know in the comments. Let us know via social media. I'm Katie. You can find me at KMoles.
And I'm Kryzzalia. You can find me at Kryzzalia on all social media. I'm coming at you from HollywoodRedux.com.
Yeah, Hollywood Redux. And we love to talk about the X-Files, so hit us up.
Reach out, guys.
Yeah. All right, we'll be back next week with a new investigation. Thank you for watching. The truth is already here. Bye.
See you guys.
Thank you for watching that episode of the K-Files. If you liked that, please be sure to check out more content over there just like it. You can also subscribe to our channel, check out our store with lots of cool stuff, and we'll be back next week with a new investigation. Thanks again. See ya.
See you guys.